Welcome to our much anticipated and highly requested van tour. And when I say highly requested, I mean two. Two viewers requested this van tour, but two is enough. So let's dive into our 2011 Ford camper van tour.
Mobile adventure fort. If you're expecting a super built out, has a bathroom and a kitchen type of van, that's not what you're getting yet. This was a total work van, metal walls, no insulation. It was loud. We put insulation in, we put walls and ceiling, flooring. We still have a lot that we want to do. This is just sort of our phase one. Get it ready so that we can actually just go out and use it. We did build a bed platform so we can sleep in here really comfortably. We have I think this is an 8-inch thick mattress. It's almost too thick. We could probably have gotten a thinner mattress, honestly. But it's a full-size, like, I think they call it an RV queen, so it's a little bit smaller than a queen, but bigger than a full. We have room on either side. We do sleep lengthwise, so we have our heads sort of down towards the back barn doors with our feet towards the cab. That works well for us. We've tried sleeping side to side, and it's just, I'm short and it's uncomfortable for me, so it's got to be super uncomfortable for my husband. So this bed platform David built all by himself, which I'm so proud of him. He just figured it out, and it can come completely apart. So if we needed the van to haul something large, furniture, or if we wanted to take a load to the dump or something, we could take this whole setup out super easy. I think it's like 15 minutes to get it in and out. But anyway, we built it specifically so it could accommodate these bins, which we were already using for a lot of our camping stuff. So they just kind of slide in and out right now. We may not always use this setup. It works for us now. It does make the bed platform higher than we would love. And it'd be great if we could get it lower so we had more headroom with the whole bed setup. We could also go with a slimmer mattress. This is a pretty thick mattress, which you can see. And on top or underneath the mattress actually is this, you can see this mesh right here. This is a moisture barrier. It's probably 3/4 to an inch thick, and it just helps keep airflow between the wood platform that the mattress is sitting on and the mattress itself, so that we don't have any mold issues. We do live in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of moisture, a lot of mold. So that's what we're using right now. This is, again, just phase one. It may stay for phase two. Maybe we'll switch it up. We don't know, but it works for now. As you can see, even though this is a very long van and we have an RV queen mattress in here, it's pretty big. It takes up a lot of space. David built the bed platform to sort of line up with where the edge of the barn doors are. And you can see that the mattress hangs over quite a bit, probably about a foot or so. We're considering different options for this, either maybe trimming the mattress or replacing the mattress with just like a really thick memory foam mattress topper so that we can trim it and it won't be messy. That'll all be part of phase two, but you know, it works for now. It hangs off. It's a little bit annoying getting on and off the bed because the bed platform doesn't extend all the way. Well, we don't think that it would bother us having our feet hang off the edge. I mentioned earlier we've tried sleeping side by side just to see if we like that. We don't. It's terrible. You feel really claustrophobic having your head at one end and your feet at the other. And I'm short, and it was still terrible for me. So, you know, we're still trying to figure out options. There's not one best way. Everything works differently for different people, so we'll figure something out. Some of the other plans that we have, originally I was gonna paint these walls and the ceiling. We might still do that. So what we decided to end up using for the walls and for the ceiling is just 1/4 inch plyboard, which makes it pliable so that it could take the shape of the van wall. The van walls are not straight up and down, they have a bow to them. We mounted 2x4s, I think, underneath, like on the actual wall. There's these ribs that kind of come out, so I don't know, it's hard to show you or try to describe now, but there's the van wall on the outside, and then there's an additional one on the inside that would come out sort of in different places, and we put the plyboard on that so we knew we could screw it into that and it would be sturdy without going through the outside wall of the van. Put the insulation in. We also put sound deadening panels down so to help with that, because this is just a big old cavernous metal tin. Maybe we'll paint these at some point. We did get paint to paint them, but we just haven't done that yet. Actually, I don't mind the way they look. They're kind of, I like the natural look of it. We did do a subfloor. We would like to put flooring on top of that, maybe something laminate, so that if there's water, if it's raining out, if something spills, it's easy to clean it up and it doesn't soak into whatever flooring material we end up using. Again, we just haven't gotten around to it. I think I'd probably prefer to go the route of having it like custom cut, because there's a lot of strange things that come out, like where the gas tank is and the wheel wells, and something that can be a little bit more precision cut to fit in here perfectly would really be my #1 choice, but we just haven't even gone down that road yet. Okay, so we tend to store things underneath the comforter. It keeps things from moving around or flying around while we're driving, but still have easy access to them. And one of the things that we keep underneath here is the curtain rod that we use for when we're gonna sleep at night. And then we just stash the curtains on the side over here. So I picked these blackout curtains just up on Amazon. I keep them nice and folded so that they're easy to put up and down. So when we're in a place that we're gonna sleep for the night and we want A, the privacy, and B, the darkness, got this tension rod, just sort of self-explanatory, get it through there. And then a lot more gracefully than this, just get it kind of tightened in here. This is never tight enough to stay. We can't drive it like this, but now we have curtains that both block out light, give us privacy, and also keeps whatever temperature is back there on the other side separate from the rest of the van. So when it's really hot out, it'll be hotter up there than it is in here, because this whole back area is insulated, and we have the max fan, so we can keep it a little cooler back here. And if it's really cold and we're using the buddy heater to warm this part of the van up, these curtains help to keep the coldness that accumulates in the cab overnight separate from the rest of the space where we're sleeping. So they've come in really handy. I would love to find a better solution. Ideally, I wouldn't have to take these up and down, and we could just open them up and have them sort of over to the side when we're driving. This tension rod just won't stay, and I have tried magnets, I have tried like sticky stuff, nothing will get it to stay. I don't know, if you have a better solution, leave it in the comments, because the window situation and covering it's been very frustrating to me. I love watching other people's van tours to see what they do, and I don't feel like very many people specifically address how they get curtains in between the cab and then the back of the van. Just trying to find something that is easy and will stay. So if you have any suggestions, let me know.
So another cool thing we did with the van was to make these insulated panels that we just stick on the doors. So behind these are just held on by magnets, and this is like 1 inch thick insulating foam core, and they just are held on just with the magnets. And there's magnets on the other side of the fabric here, and you can actually see the pink foam there, and we're just using electrical tape right now to hold them on. But you know, with the fabric it looks pretty nice, and it just sticks on super easy. Gives you a little bit of more insulation on these metal bare doors, which don't hold in the heat very well. So a little bit helps, but helps nonetheless. So I'll say that the scariest thing that we've done to the van so far was installing the MaxxFan air vent on top of the van. And if you've never done this before, it's pretty terrifying taking a saw and cutting a hole in the top of your van and hoping that you don't screw it up. And I watched countless videos of people doing it, and it all made it seem pretty easy and straightforward. And it is pretty easy and straightforward, but it doesn't account for the fear factor when you actually make that first cut and you've committed, and now you've got a hole in the top of your van, and you're not really sure if you've done the right thing or not. Once you start that cut in the roof of your van, there's no going back. So once there's a hole there, there's a hole there. I would just make sure that if you're going to do this to your van, have the proper tools. I would say that, you know, we use the jigsaw and it worked okay, but it's definitely hard to keep the cuts pretty straight. Thankfully, there's a little bit of leeway that you have with the brackets to install it. So as long as you get it pretty darn close, it doesn't have to be exact, but as long as you get it close, you'll be just fine. So interestingly enough, the most expensive modification we've done to the van so far was actually installing this new Alpine radio head unit. And so the reason I went with this particular unit is because it has like what's called a floating screen. And so it allows you to get a much larger screen that would be normally allotted in the slot where the original stock stereo used to be. So it's great. You have, I think this is like a 7-inch touchscreen monitor here. Another really cool feature was I wanted to have a reverse and a front-facing camera. So when you turn the camera on, if I flip this little toggle switch right now I'm seeing what's in front of the van, which is fantastic, especially for when we get the van a little bit more capable to go off-road. We'll have an idea of what's going on in front of the wheels. So if you've seen any of our past videos, then you've undoubtedly seen this. This is our Jackery 1000. Now, this allows us to keep all of our devices and electronics charged. And it's crucial for me because I bring so much camera gear. You know, I'm charging all of my camera batteries, I'm charging my drone batteries, I'm charging flashlights, I'm charging battery banks, you know, for heated vests. I mean, there's anything and everything that I need to have charged. This is able to do it. And we're not sponsored by Jackery or anything. We paid for this with our own money, but it has proven to be an invaluable tool. We do have the optional 100-watt solar panel, which we've used on many occasions, which is kind of nice. You don't have to have that hooked up to the Jackery to charge it. You can have it just on its own, and we've charged our batteries up just with that, you know, just off in the sun. We also use the Jackery to power our MaxxFan. So it runs off DC power, which is fantastic because there is a DC option here on the Jackery. So it's been great for us. 1,000 watts is probably overkill for most of our trips, but we wanted to get more versus less because we had originally planned to go on some very extended long trips. And so when we do go on those kinds of trips, we will have no problems being able to keep everything we want charged and ready to go.
It's super basic, but it works, and we do have a lot of plans to build it out more, but it's getting us out there, and it allows us to sleep really comfortably. It blocks a lot of wind noise. It keeps us warmer at night. Because it's not a tent, we don't have that flapping sound if it's windy out or rainy out. My favorite part is that there's no setting up or tearing down of a tent. We can pull into a spot, and if we're tired, we could just go to bed. If it's dark out, we don't have to worry about trying to figure out where we're gonna put a tent. It's ideal for me, and I think it's ideal for us and the way we like to camp and adventure, and yeah.
So another cool detail of the van was how we were gonna solve the insulating. Welcome to our highly anticipated and when I say van tour, so another cool detail that we did with the van was when we were insulating it, we needed to find some sort. Goodness, try again.